A while back I asked my followers what kind of vlogs they would like. One of the questions that came back went along the lines of, how does your faith impact you as an indie artist compared to other artists who do not have a faith? I thought that topic was worth exploring, so today we're going to be looking at how I express my faith through music and how it impacts my work as an indie artist. But before I begin, please do hit the subscribe button below and let me know what you think about what I'm talking about. I thought the best way to talk about this really expansive topic is to break it down into several areas. It's something that I know is going to be more than what a few minutes on a vlog can cover. Hopefully you'll understand a little bit more about why I do what I do and maybe even start a little discussion around it. I'm breaking it down into several sections: my background, indie artist life, songs themselves, the choices that I make, different gigs that I play, and looking at the work ethic required to do what I do. I've been writing songs for some time now, and I never thought that I would get the opportunity to do this as a full-time job. It's amazing, and I really appreciate the opportunity to do what I do. Much of my musical development came in three different areas: school, church, and the local music scene. Each of these three areas played a part to make me who I am. School taught me about performance in front of a crowd, solo performance as well as in an orchestra, in a kind of collaborative setting. Church taught me about playing in lots of different bands with a variety of musical disciplines and a variety of skill levels. It taught me about reading a room really well, knowing how to create a moment and respond to a moment in the blink of an eye. And the local music scene taught me how to have thick skin and to become a better frontman, as well as manage unforeseen problems like strings breaking mid-set. So each of these three areas shaped who I am as a performer, as an artist, but also who I am as a person as well, because music has always been a large part of my life. Now, the most important thing in my life is my faith. I'm a Christian, which means Jesus is my captain and I hold on to the teachings in the Bible. I am committed to this way of life, and while it does not make me perfect, it does bring me peace and joy and also great challenge. As a Christian, I sometimes feel misunderstood. I think Christians can sometimes get a bad name in society, and some of this is really justified. As I've walked on this journey and grappled with my faith, I really want to be somebody who is a bridge builder, not a bridge breaker. And so I believe that building healthy relationships with people is really important. I'm really grateful for the following that I have. Some of those followers are definitely Christians, some of those may be of other religions, and some people don't have any faith at all. I'm really grateful for every single person who listens to my music and engages with my content. I truly believe that music can have a deep, lasting impact on someone's soul, and I hope that some of the songs that I've written have made an impact in people's lives in some way, shape or form. But some of my songs do not talk directly about my faith, and I think this is healthy. My general attitude towards song creation is to remove all limits from the songwriting process. This has allowed me to be able to really explore and express myself in new ways musically and lyrically that I wouldn't have been able to do if I'd have tried to contain my message or contain the way that I write. This has given me the freedom to be able to say things that I feel needed to be said, and sometimes express my frustration and hurt. There was a time when I was scared to do this, but I've really tried to run towards vulnerability and share with an open hand and an open heart some of the things that are going on in my life. Lately I've written songs about bitterness, envy, as well as joy and peace and hope, surrender, pain, all these different emotions that have been going on in my life. I've tried to write about them because I believe it shows the reality of what it is to walk in this human world. For me, as a Christian, all of this is worship. It may not sound like a Sunday morning church service, but it is worship from my heart. I believe I'm led by a creative God who we cannot always understand, see, or explain. I like that there's mystery in faith, and although it throws up lots of questions, it's also a beautiful place to reside in. It's like an unknown, trusting headspace. For me, I look at songwriting and I think about the unknown and bringing it into reality. Yesterday, there was no song, and today, there is a song. How in one day you can create out of nothing melody, lyrics, poetry, and suddenly this thing, this being that never was, suddenly is. And I think faith is a little bit like that, where suddenly we see things that maybe we've never seen before. Faith encourages me to explore, to push into uncomfortable territories, and to be okay with the incompleteness that I often feel. How does my faith impact my work as an indie artist? Some of my decisions to work with people comes down to gut instincts. Sometimes I'll make a decision to not work on a project or not work with an organisation because I think it might clash with my values and my faith. But there are also times when I've definitely worked in areas where I might feel a little uncomfortable, but there are many opportunities that have come from it by stepping out of my comfort zone. And I want to do that more and more as I create music. These things have led to lots of things that I didn't think would happen to me, like playing a live set on national radio or having some tracks used for a sports show. It's amazing. I often take these opportunities as a case-by-case scenario. I reflect on the bigger picture of what I'm doing and assess whether that opportunity resonates with who I am. In the past, I played concerts and events and gigs in churches pretty much exclusively, but nowadays I'm thinking less about that and trying to play in all sorts of venues and places. It's awesome for me as a person of faith to have songs about God and my journey and my walk alongside someone else's set about something completely different, and have that sitting side by side because the quality of music and songwriting is at a similar level. I never want to be abusive of the position that I've been given, and so if I'm in a position of opportunity, I trust that God will use it in the way that He wants to. My job is to tell my story when I get the chance to, and play the music, to be open, to be a listener, and to share what's going on in my heart. While studio time and touring are very much a part of an indie artist's life, a big part of the indie artist's life is also working away in a room like this on the business side as well as the craft of writing and practicing. I believe I'm called to this life, which remains a faith venture for me and is not for the faint-hearted. So when I work, I must give my all. This is why I try to stay consistent in my work patterns, to build for the longer term and to connect and engage with people who follow what I do. Of course, I have systems in place like Patreon, and honestly, Patreon is a lifesaver for indie artists. And if you haven't looked at it yet, please do consider it because it really does make a difference. And you know, sometimes music playing and creating is only 20% of the working week that I do. So there's plenty of other work that goes on behind the scenes to make this thing even possible. I think my faith gives me an extra incentive to work hard and to honor God through the work that I do, to take pleasure in the gift that He's given me. And while there are many others who are far more talented in music than I am, I want to use what I've got to the very best of my ability. Honestly, I just feel like I've scratched the surface, but I hope this kind of answers that question about how my faith impacts my work and somehow how I express my faith through music. There's so much more I could talk about for sure, and maybe there's a whole series I need to do about this one day. But for now, I hope that you enjoyed this vlog. I hope it's given you something to think about, and I hope it shows you some of my heart and what I'm about as a person. I'm really grateful for those who follow me and subscribe to what I do and engage with my content. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't done already, and if you're interested in Patreon, please do check out my Patreon page. It's a great way for you guys to engage with what I'm doing at a deeper level, to get a load of stuff well ahead of time and some exclusive material that you wouldn't necessarily get online. So thank you so much for joining with me this week, and I look forward to sharing more with you soon.